Namaskar, I Vishwaruparath welcome you all to Uday India Digital. Today I'll tell you about the climate scientists' claim that life on Earth is under existential threat. Recently, a group of prominent climate scientists warned that life on Earth is under existential threat from climate change. The scientists who published their assessment in the journal Bioscience said that humanity has made minimal progress in reducing greenhouse gas emissions and that the world is now on track for a warming of at least 3 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The scientists warned that such a warming would have catastrophic consequences for life on Earth. They said that it would lead to more extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, floods and storms. It would also cause sea levels to rise, inundating coastal cities and displacing millions of people. The scientists also warned that climate change would have a devastating impact on biodiversity. They said that many species of plants and animals would be unable to adapt to the changing climate and would go extinct. This would have a cascading effect on ecosystems, disrupting food chains and threatening the stability of the planet. The scientists' assessment is based on a comprehensive review of the latest scientific literature on climate change. It is supported by a growing body of evidence that shows that the planet is warming faster than previously thought and that the impacts of climate change are already being felt around the world. For example, in 2023, the world experienced a record-breaking heat wave that killed thousands of people and caused widespread economic damage. The heat wave was also accompanied by severe droughts, floods and wildfires. These events are just a taste of what it is to come if we do not take urgent action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The scientists who authored the Bioscience assessment are calling for a global mobilization to avert the existential threat of climate change. What can be done to avert the existential threat of climate change? The scientists who authored the Bioscience assessment recommended a range of action to avert the existential threat of climate change. These actions include reducing greenhouse gas emission. This is the most important thing that we can do to address climate change. We need to transition away from fossil fuels and towards renewable energy resources. We also need to improve energy efficiency and reduce our reliance on energy-intensive products and services. Protecting and restoring ecosystems. Ecosystems play a vital role in absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We need to protect and restore existing ecosystems such as forests and wetlands. We also need to create new ecosystems such as urban forest and green roofs. Adapting to the impacts of climate change. Even if we are able to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, some degree of climate change is already inevitable. We need to adapt to the impacts of climate change by building more resilient infrastructure and developing new technologies. In addition to these actions, we also need to raise awareness of existential threat of climate change and build public support for climate action. We need to put pressure on our leaders to take bold action to address climate change. In conclusion, it is apt to say that the existential threat of climate change is a real and urgent one. However, it is not too late to take action to avert the worst impacts of climate change. By reducing greenhouse gas emissions, protecting and restoring ecosystems, and adapting to the impacts of climate change, we can create a more sustainable and resilient future for ourselves and for generations to come. Here are some specific things that individuals can do to help avert the existential threat of climate change. Reduce your carbon footprint by driving less, eating less meat, and using less energy in your home. Support businesses and organizations that are working to reduce their environmental impact. Get involved in climate activism and put pressure on your elected officials to take actions on climate change. Talk to your friends and family about climate change and help them to understand the urgency of the issue. Every little bit helps. By working together, we can create a better future for ourselves and for the planet. With this, I wrap up this edition. For more such news, stay tuned to Uday India.